not denizens, parade is here, aka the bringer of rain, aka father of the sea and sun, aka king of the core. And before I introduce my very special guest, I want to welcome you all to the Core Creators Podcast, where I interview creators across the Holo-net. And today we have none other than the galactic holoscanner, the sorcerer of shots, Manny Jacinto's understudy, Burgundy 20 of Burgundy Squadron, the ISO of Holoscan's database. How are you today, sir?
Hey, man. Thank you for having me again. And thanks for dealing with the chaos that was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we've behind the scenes, we've been working to get the Discord working on D's end and whatever I was doing on my end with my computer. It's been a mess, but we're having a great time. We're having some laughs, and I'm super happy to have you back on the show. I think you're one of the few guests that's been here the most, actually. I think you're the third time on, so.
I think so, and I don't know why.
Because you create a lot. You're doing a lot. You're a core creator. And we recently, well, you put on recently the Cantina Crossover, and that's why I'm having you on the show, because we're pretty much doing like a behind the scenes director commentary. We had video footage of what went on. And I wanted to, first and foremost, thank you for putting that on. For me, it was a great experience, and I don't know if I have verbally told you, but I think I told others. I said if D was an awful photographer, I'm still going for the meets and the hangs, because we had a bunch of Burgundy there and a lot of other Star Wars fans who were showing up. But the bonus is you take great photos. And it was a fun time, and I had a great time. So thank you very much for putting that on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's if anything, it's nice hearing that, because it takes pressure off of me. So I'm like, I still want to make good images and stories, but
sure.
You said that, I laughed. I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to try so hard.
Yeah. Well, because if you're like, hey, we're going to go to this place that's like Star Wars based or like sci-fi based for 3 hours, we'd be like, we're in, bro. Like, we wouldn't have done it anyway.
And I think that's actually, the fact that you brought that up, that's something that's kind of happened with that event specifically that I could have never foreseen.
Yeah.
And I think especially this past year, or this one we just did,
mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to see that people are saying it's like, it means a lot to them. Like it's doing something. It's an experience. It's like a life-changing. They're using words like life-changing. I'm like, yo, calm down. We're just nerds shooting a bunch of photos, Yeah. It's wild.
It's like I walked in as with some baggage, but I came out like a whole new person. No, I mean. It was great. I was having a ton of fun. I haven't had that much fun in a long time, but it's a mixture of like meeting our online friends that, we've all talked and chatted on, online, and now we're like meeting in person, and that's like, it feels like brand new and fun, and like, oh, is this going to be awkward? Or, is it going to be cool? And I kind of felt a little bad because I felt like I was one of the louder people in the photo shoot, because I felt comfortable being around you guys because I talk to you guys almost every day.
Yeah.
Where some of the other ones, they didn't even know who any of us were. They were just like, a guest or attending. So apologies to any of the other crossover attendees. I wasn't trying to be super weird about it, but I was just really happy to be a part of it.
No, I don't think that's the thing. Like this is the second year I've done it.
Yeah.
And naturally most Star Wars nerds, we're all pretty, we have our own quirks and stuff. So some people are more reserved than others. And I think something that I've kind of prepped people going into the experience or going into the shoot is that a lot of people, are a little nervous. So like,
oh, yeah.
What do I do? And just the experience alone is like, how does this work? Am I just doing photos? Am I whatever? So I tend to to walk people through it when they're new and let them know, like, this is what we're gonna do. Don't worry, I'm gonna guide you.
Yeah.
I'll help you through it. Because it can be overwhelming. I mean, that event is a lot.
Yes. Yeah. And with the limited amount of time too, for the amount of people that you're shooting. And so, and that's why I kind of want to cover too, like, you did one, and maybe we could refer to one a bit, but how did this like start? Like, what was the inception of doing this event? Because I guess, did you guys do it at the same place, On-Site Studios in LA, for the first one?
We did.
Okay.
They were pretty, not brand new because that studio's been there for a while.
Sure.
But they had just opened up, I think, less than a few months before that.
Okay.
A set specifically that is the Cantina area.
Yeah.
And then now this year they actually just finished up the Starship, like the few weeks before we got in, because I talked to the admins, and we're pretty, we go back and forth every so often now.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, it'll be ready by the time you guys get here.
Nice.
So it was kind of but go on. I'm sorry, your question again?
I was gonna go. I was asking about like the preparation and the inception of doing this event for one going into two, I guess.
Pretty much every idea like starts the same. It's just a dumb idea in my head. It's really like just I don't know. It's something that I selfishly wanted to do, and I think it was doing Holoscan database, starting to shoot with different characters, different people, amazing creatives, and doing all these things. I don't know. I got greedy. Like, it wasn't good enough. Like, I think what I saw is that there was a lot of possibility that I could see in the community. And for me as photographer and having that passion to do that, I innately looked and saw, okay, I've shot one-on-one with people, but we have Burgundy Squadron, we have all these other groups, whether if they're official or not.
Yeah.
But there's so many characters that live out there now. It essentially kind of lended to the idea that I wanted to create a collective. And that's why I named it the Cantina Crossover, because to me, it felt like when you grew up reading comic books and there was crossover editions, and it was like this random character from this one and they teamed up and they did a whole story, and you saw them even in the same room together. And then it basically connects with the Cantina in the original, in A New Hope. Yeah. Where you see all these collective characters and random people. So I ended up kind of putting it out there, created the idea, created the name, reached out to a few people that I know, because essentially it's very easy to get attendees. Yes. Especially this year. Last year was kind of, it was 50-50, where some people wanted to do it. They weren't sure what it was, which I understand. It was very early phase, so no one knew what it was. Right. And the people that showed up were super game. But essentially, what I'm getting around to is the fact that it's easy to get people that are characters that are humans or aliens-esque, but to put a droid there, to put a full-on alien there with a mask, to create a set, that was definitely something that does not exist. And I wanted to create a platform for that and have people bring their character that they work really hard on and be a part of a story, be a part of a set. And yeah, essentially that's what I wanted to make, and people jumped on board. You didn't have any from one that came back for two? Our crew, yes. Okay, but not the... I want to say yes. Oh. I think so. I wasn't familiar. That would have been a good question to ask when I was introducing myself. Yeah. We had one returning attendee, which is Jonathan. He was one of our Mandalorians. Oh, okay. Everybody else, now that you said it, they were all new people. Oh, nice. Besides our volunteer crew, right? We had Pam, we had Sean, we had Andy is our coordinator. We had Tom, which is our lighting lead. Yeah. So we a lot of the behind the scenes people come back, but as in for like attendees now, there was only one. Everybody else is new. Dre too was doing some camera stuff. Oh, was he at the Outpost
when you guys did your
He was at the Outpost.
Outpost? Okay.
He was at the Outpost.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, no, and I'm sorry, he was at the first one also.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Dre and Jonathan. Yeah, they both were at the first one.
Yeah.
But in this one, I kind of so we had been going back and forth, and he wanted to do video, and he really wanted to do some of like those little vignettes of characters and some of the amazing work that he does.
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be down there," and he's, a little drive away, and essentially he's like, I want to do some video, I wanted to do this, and I finally got to the point where I'm like, do you just want to be like on the crew? Like,
oh. Yeah.
I felt bad too because, being the fact that he does such amazing video, it's part of the story. It's part of what we're doing. So I was more open to just bring him on, being the fact that we've worked together before, and he's such an amazing guy and very creative. So yeah, he essentially ended up just coming on to the team instead of just being an attendee.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was very impressed how coordinated you guys were. It was like everyone knew from my perspective, everyone knew their roles, and everything was intentional, where it was like you guys didn't have to like really discuss too much in the fly, because we did have a limited amount of time, right? And so it was like, hey, I need you guys to do this, and then boom, no question about it, it was getting done. And I really appreciated that, because like if I put a bunch of group of my buddies together and maybe because of their backgrounds, right, they'd be like, huh, what? Or, well, maybe we should do it like this, and bumping heads and things like that. But you guys seem to be pretty cohesive from my vantage point.
Yeah, thankfully, and I'm glad you noticed that. Thankfully, it's a pretty, even though it's very hectic, the grand scheme of things, it all has to do with the fact that the team that I'm working with, like I said, everybody there is just there because they want to be there, and they're volunteering, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Everyone's time and effort and everything, and everyone just wants to play along and do something cool. So essentially the process, what I usually do, and this year got even easier because I kind of know the formula now, is I will create a general plan for the story we're going to tell. I'll generally kind of create these points of interest, and then this year we kind of had almost stations to have character interaction. So I wrote the characters, created a character interaction, and you saw how when we were there I was kind of pulling people in, moving people around. Okay, let's move here, let's go, kind of getting through the shot list. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that like I creatively planned it, and when it comes to the aesthetic and the vision of it, I did do that. But a lot of planning had to do with the fact that Tom did an amazing job lighting. I don't even have to talk to that guy. He legitimately just covers, and I think that's why I enjoy working with him so much, is that he's such a kind person and amazingly talented, and I'm privileged to work with him. But the fact that it says a lot when you don't have to tell somebody, and he is like A1 amazing at his job. Hence why he does what he does. And then having Andy, there's kind of a running joke that he's the camp counselor of Cantina Crossover.
Definitely got that.
He really is. He's just a very doting, very caring individual, and I'm not good. I can plan things, but during I tend to plan a lot because it's hard for me to kind of like stay on track.
Right.
So I tend to I need bullet points, and I know where I'm going, and I'm in my head a lot.
Sure.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because I have to move and do these things and think of a shot and like, okay, I can do all that.
Yeah.
But Andy is the complete opposite in the best way, that he is this time, in 5 minutes we got to move. In 10 minutes we got to do this. By the way, like you saw the whole shoot, he was like checking meters.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
And I can't thank that guy enough for what he did. And so having all these amazing people, and then having the characters, which we had Sean and Pam and Darren for our K2, having all of these characters and people that do an amazing job at it has made this event run as smooth as it has.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Lindsay and Jason. They were also characters. I want to make sure we mention all the people who were involved as extras, because that was, not only did we have the attendees dressed up, but the extras and people like even Dre holding the camera was in his stuff too, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, it feels very immersive, which I wanted to be a part of the immersion, right? It just helps kind of just transport us into the whole thing, and I think it just makes better photos and a better environment. Is there anything more you could talk about preparation? Because I was very impressed with, I don't know what it's called, when you sent over the shots, like, hey, we're going to take pictures here, 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 and you sent us like the 4 areas, and then kind of like had a breakdown of that. Was there any more that you can speak of? Because I know you spoke about it already just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, and thank you. I appreciate that. So essentially, whenever I create a story, and specifically something like this, that's a lot of moving parts, I will tend to create like almost a visual template, like storytelling. So especially with something like this, is I have inspirational images, like concept art that I tend to pull from. I'll have a shot list. I'll have our general like theme of what we're doing, what to expect. And then for this event, obviously, like you saw how we had pretty much information where we could get a hold of whoever and everyone's roles. So it's, like you said, there wasn't a question about things. Everybody knew their job.
Yeah, that's great. Because then it like kind of gives us almost direction before we go. Because you even had us like send in photos of each other so we can kind of understand like who's going to be there and what kind of character they were sending.
Yeah.
I really like that too, because I was like, I wonder how everybody else is going to be dressed, because I'm like figuring out what I'm going to wear and just to kind of have that cohesion.
And I think it's really important, and it's a very unique thing to this specifically, is because instead of fighting, the look of something, I feel like something like this, because everybody has their innate style and character and what have you, when you give volunteers and people that are attending an insight to what you're doing, I feel like it just makes everyone feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And it also makes just more creativity, because you may see someone else's outfit and say, oh, I love that, I want to do that. Or, hey, they're doing this, maybe I'm going to do another thing.
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
It definitely helps in that aspect of creating like a community group project. And it's funny that the first thing that pops in my mind when you ask me that is, it was my first time meeting Lindsay.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you follow her, definitely follow her.
Yes.
Her handle is Fulcrum Masoka, I think.
Fulcrum Masoka Tana, yeah, on Instagram. Yeah.
By the end of this, I'm gonna rattle off everybody's name.
Yeah.
But Lindsay ended up jumping on last minute, and
nice.
She was referred to by Andy, because initially we have one of our other buddies that was going to be here, Avery, which he's such a sweet guy, but he couldn't make it because he's getting married.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, all right, guys, I guess we'll give you a break. So
I guess this is more important.
Yeah, but essentially we pulled her on last minute, and I spoke to Andy about it, and being the fact that, I've worked doing some photography for some time and a little bit of production, even though it's not professional in the sense, like I did a lot of small stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted it to feel like a safe space for people.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Andy, and I'm like, hey, I know we're pulling on a few people for volunteers and to help and assistance, and I would like a female, just because there are girls on set, and I wanted everybody to feel safe, and we have dressing rooms and stuff. So we wanted everybody to feel like if one of the girls needs help, then obviously they can go help.
Sure, yeah.
So you recommended Lindsay. She's such a sweetheart, and I immediately was like super happy that she was there.
Yeah.
But essentially, during the shoot, we had only spoken over text, and there was one point where we were in the cantina, and we're moving pretty quickly, and we're setting up everything, and we're kind of dressing the set with all of our props and all this stuff. And Lindsay looks over at me, and she goes, okay, she has like a basket of stuff, like Melu runs and noodles and whatever.
Fruits, and food, yeah.
Over at me, she goes, where would you like this? And I go, you like Star Wars? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you know where it goes.
Yeah.
And then she kind of like laughed, and I just told her, I'm like, if we all naturally have this like blueprint of what this universe is, it's wild, because it's what it was created to be. When it was originally designed, George Lucas wanted it to be fables and these worlds. And he made it so brilliantly where you know that looks wrong. You know that looks right. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that's where that goes.
Yeah.
And it's very easy creatively. And I like giving everybody a little bit of a like wiggle room to do that.
Yeah.
Because then it makes for more. Because if I tell you I want it this, this, and this, that's what I see. Like
Right.
I don't want to see what I see. I want this world, and then I'm gonna run around and make something with that.
Yeah. I love that because it doesn't just kind of like put your blinders on and it has to be your way. I think you
Yeah.
can make a more fantastic product with everyone's creative input. Even we were at the very end, we're like, oh, well, what other shots can we do? And I was like, oh, maybe we'll be around the table like we're doing like the
Yeah.
rebellion thing. And that was like my input. And I was like, I hope I'm not stepping on any toes, like by
Oh,
saying something like that. And I thought it was a really cool moment because we had like Billy at the front and we're all
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
standing around, and I was like, oh, this feels right. Like, it feels good. I thought that was super cool. There was another time when we were in the cantina area, and we're kind of sitting there, and you're doing your shots. And for a moment, I was like, should I play music? And I was like, it's not my thing, so maybe I shouldn't. And so I just like let it go. And then you were like, hey, can someone play music? And Tom's like, oh, I got it. And I was like, oh yeah, like that feels right. So knowing that, maybe there'll be a little bit more input on those kind of things.
That's what's fun about that event is that it really is just like this. I'll rarely tell, obviously like I know where my head's at. I know what I'm getting and obviously I'm
Right.
the one shooting, so it has a big part of that. But I think this project specifically has taught me a lot creatively that I can't do it on my own. Like I think
Yeah.
any good creative, any good director, anybody, some of the greatest directors out there, they're not going to be hell driven on it needs to be this. Like
Right.
yes, there's some part of it that needs to be a certain way. But you need to understand that there are other individuals that are better than you.
100%.
I amazing costumers we had, droid techs we had,
Yeah.
lighting people we had, like all these people. You need to find that like skill and let them do their job, like let them do what makes them happy and they're good at. And I think I kind of laugh at this because when I initially got into holoscan, before that I wrote short films and like really just my own stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of laugh at it now because I got into holoscan for photography and I'm going to continue to do that. It's what I
Hmm.
do. But I did photography and wrote stories because production was hard to find people and it was also hard to get it done at the time.
Yeah.
And now doing this, it's like a full circle where I'm like, oh no, I'm going back into film. And I think essentially I have some plans for some stuff in the future.
Hmm.
Very short things, but essentially getting back into that. And I think a lot of that has to do with the crossover is very much practice
Hmm.
for that.
Yeah. No, that's really cool to hear that insight into what you might be doing next, because I think it's really fun. It's really amazing meeting everyone in the parking lot, and we can't go in right away, and so we're like, okay, we got
Yeah.
to take a freight elevator. And I don't and you sent like pictures, but I wasn't exactly sure of what the space was going to be like.
Yeah.
And so when we got out of the elevator, I think it was Andy who had a video of it. We're like walking out of the freight, and the first place you walk into is the cantina area and the noodle stand. I'm like, this is awesome. Like it's a big space there. And then it kept going. And I'm like, whoa, this is actually like huge.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away because there's even like other spots like medieval and Victorian, and throne room and things like that where we weren't going to shoot. But it was cool seeing all that stuff because this is like my first time being an actual like studio. And
Yeah.
even going into like the engine room where we were taking like little pictures. I'm glad Billy thought to take to take pictures on the side because we were just like hanging out and talking, and then he's like, oh, we should probably take some pictures, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, while you guys
Yeah.
were shooting like other things.
That's what's fun too about this is the fact that because everyone's hanging out and they're like all doing stuff, there's stuff that will seep out later that
Yeah.
like it's selfies or it's like photos you guys took and I'm like, I didn't even see you guys do that because I'm like doing something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah.
But it's cool because I'm seeing more, which is fun,
Yeah.
and I really enjoy that. And if, for anybody that's watching, if you ever need a really incredible set, On-Site Studios is in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
I've used them twice. They're amazing people, amazing venue. Like it's something straight out of a film. So highly recommend if you're trying to film something or anything like that. And their staff is like super nice. They're really accommodating.
Yeah, I'll make sure I put links for like on site and everybody who we're mentioning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a big shout out to Echo too. We haven't mentioned her. She was a Twi'lek, and then we had Remy also there. He was the noodle stand chef. In
Yeah. So for characters this year, we had okay, let me go down the list.
Yeah.
So we had Sean,
Yes.
which is one of our squad members.
Yep.
He's this is the second time. We worked on like a cantina shoot for him because he wanted to do the most Rhodians in a shoot at a different location, and then he ended up kind of jumping on because I needed costumers, and
Yeah.
he's amazingly cool guy, one
Yeah.
of the nicest people you ever meet.
Friend of
You've
the
had him on
show.
the
Yeah, I've had him on the pod.
Yeah. So Sean was there, and he was our not a Rhodian this year. He was a I forget the name of it. It's
Mud something. Mid.
with the M.
Midbin.
The real Star Wars nerd yelling at us right now.
Yeah, I know. He's in. Watch this episode. He told us there.
Yeah, yellow. He's good. No.
He's the yellow bug-looking one.
So we had Sean, and then we also had Pam, which she's come back. Pam is such a sweet person, and she's just always game to just play along. And she jumped on as one of our. She was our Rhodian medic, and then we also had Echo, which she was the ship's pilot that we had this year.
Yeah.
I wanted this like hot pilot that was like, she basically, her cot is under the fuel cell of the ship. That's how much she loves her ship. So we had her. We had Darren, which he's our K2 designer, and he created that entire thing himself. And if you've seen it, it's the raddest thing.
Crazy. It's
so
insane.
Cool.
Yeah.
I need to look up the list because I have like so many people.
Ramy, producer of Off the Rack Rebellion.
Yeah, he's on him and the Dad Batch guys.
Yeah.
So Ramy came down too. I invited him and Jason, and they came in. There were some characters. He was our Blue Noodle Stand chef, and he threw that outfit together like last second. He threw some blue dye on his apron, and I love that. So Ramy was there, and then Jason was. I wanted a character that kind of brought the two scenes together. Essentially, the ship and the cantina. So brought Jason in essentially as a spaceport like tech worker that kind of brings people back and forth, and you can kind of see him at the front of the cantina letting people in. Yeah, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
What else am I missing? Tell me.
Oh, I'm trying to think if I'm missing any aliens. Pretty sure that was everybody.
It's insane how many photos I've had.
And that was another question about it.
Dude, I'm sick of that set now.
I know. I was like, well, okay. So what I was like, how many people know exactly what we're talking about versus how many of these pictures they've seen? Because you release quite a few for each of us, and then we're like sharing. There's
roughly 10 per like. The way I put it is that, like, obviously, party, like, coming to attend. Yeah. My ballpark is trying to get at least, like, very focused on you guys. Yes. At least 10, more or less. Yeah. And then there's ones where you're, like, in the background and stuff like that.
Right. I did want to ask, how do you pick our photos?
What do you mean?
Because, like, because we took so many, right?
Yeah, I know.
And so, I mean, you were the guy taking all the photos. How do you, I mean, and you don't have to get too deep into it. You don't have to, but what's your like criteria for our, because I'm assuming, let's say you take 100 pictures of me. How do you decide, okay, these are the, 10 or so that you want to feature?
I do have a way of choosing.
And if it's secret, you don't have to.
Oh, no. I can tell you.
Okay.
It's not something I think most photographers look at, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it's because essentially, look at all of your photos, right?
Yeah.
I'll look at all of yours, and then I'll look and I'll kind of overview them, and then I'll see. It's weird. Like I jump back and forth too. It depends on where I'm at in my head.
Yeah.
I'll start editing them, and obviously the ones that I'm like, that looks good. I like that. Like I really like the way this is looking. It's very just basic in the beginning, but as I'm formulating it, I'm seeing your story. That's what helps me choose, because I'm watching this scene happen. So that's how I choose. Okay. That I'm like, if I had 10 and it was a comic book, what 10 or whatever number?
Yeah.
What am I using to tell this story?
Yeah, actually, thinking about it now, there was kind of like an arc in the photos that you took of me. Yeah. So you saying it, verbalizing it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. One thing I was thinking of, and I don't know if this helps, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I'm not like a photography expert or anything. But when you were taking pictures of me when we were sitting at the table in the cantina, and we were playing sabacc, did it matter if I was moving slow or fast? Because I felt like I'm gonna try to be like more intentional with my movements, but go slow so that you might capture something. Maybe I don't know if that helped or not, or if you even noticed, because I'm like, put this card down and put that card down.
I mean, I could see why it might make a difference.
Okay.
I'm not focused that much to tell.
Okay. I wouldn't think so, but I was like, if you were giving, I guess if I was by myself with someone else and it's just us two, would that be a direction you would give? Like, or they'll just do it naturally and we'll just get what we get?
I think it depends. I think it depends on the factors of it. I think it really depends, because essentially I'm looking for a moment.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's what happens.
Okay.
Is that I'm looking for a moment, and then I'll find that moment, and I'm like, okay, that's where it's at. And then I'll take usually a few photos to kind of generally vary it, just in case someone was blinking or something like that gets in the way.
Yeah.
So I think it's a case by case.
Gotcha. And I have a question actually about one specific photo you had in my set where I was like, this is one of my favorite of my set, and I don't even know if I was supposed to be the main focus of it, but you were behind the noodle stand, and then we had Aiden and Morgan, and they're kind of looking in my direction towards the noodle stand, but I'm looking directly across. I was like, did that just happen out of nowhere and you just happen to capture it? I think it's Jonathan who's sitting there, but he's in the foreground a little bit blurry, and so it is more focused in that direction where I'm sitting. But I'm not in the center. I'm not like a center focal point for that photo.
Yeah. It was intentional in the moment. And I think I was actually shooting you at that moment.
Oh, interesting.
I walked across and I wanted a wider shot. And I was kind of like looking through, like there's a bunch of stuff in front of me.
Sure.
There's like looking through the cantina area. There's like a bar. And I was just watching. And then essentially I wanted to catch you in that moment where you're looking across.
Yeah.
So no, that was intentional.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it is, I think a lot of photography is there's intention on the shot you want, but you kind of have to find that moment.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily been like, I want him here, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But I just saw that composition and I was like, okay, that works. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, because like the story in my head when I looked at the picture, I was like, oh, everyone's doing something. But my character is not doing what everybody's doing, and because in my mind when I was portraying in the photo shoot was like, I'm Burgundy, I'm here for other reasons, I'm seeing what other people aren't seeing, I'm trying to focus on things that people aren't focusing on because I have to be more high alert.
Yeah, because during that scene, remember what you were actually doing in that scene is you were tipping your hat to Billy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I did have my hand on my hat.
You were looking across and you did that, and you were kind of like tipping your hat at him. But the way it reads still is the fact that, like you said, you're different. Your character is in a different mindset than everybody just having a drink and hanging out.
Correct. Yeah. That was one of my favorites. I got a lot of good feedback on some of mine. Midrim was saying that he loves the one where I'm at the noodle stand, and he's like, I want to know more about this character's story. Like, he's like, you just look like, more of a Dennison, but there's so many questions. And I was like, oh, that's really cool that he got that from that photo, because there was a conversation happening. You know, it was more jovial when I sat down, and then I like kind of like became more serious. But but go ahead, you're saying.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. Like you said, like it's really interesting watching people's interpretation too. And I think that's what's fun about doing these photos and the style that we're doing it in, is that we're bringing gravity to these characters. We're putting them in situations that you're watching these characters and you're like, I'm watching a movie. Like there's something more than just pose in front of a falcon, or like that wasn't meant to be like shade, but
yeah.
It's, you know, I'm not gonna
You hear that, Bob Iger? No, I know what you're saying.
Anyways, but I think there's a time and place for those things, is what I'm just trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think obviously the collective people where we know, and on Holoscan database, people gravitate to this because they want more.
Yes.
You know, they want a deeper story. They want more of that. And not everybody, 90% of the population doesn't want that. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I always tell people, is Holoscan database, you know, my work is the collection of the super nerds, and like we're the weird kids, and it's rad.
Yeah, this is a ton of fun. I was gonna ask, what was your favorite moment of the shoot? Anything that sticks out to you?
I think, and I tend to have these moments a lot working on, you know, doing this type of photography, is I'm nerding out as much as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm creating these things not because, you know, it's a job or anything. I'm doing it because like there's the kid in me too that wants to see this. And I think there's multiple times, and especially like at the cantina, and I think I verbalized it. I kind of laughed as I'm shooting, and it was after we had music on, and you know, everyone's just like hanging out, having their fake drinks, and you know, there's lights. And...
It was real drinks. I was drinking that Gatorade.
Well, I mean, they're not real alcohol, but you know, they're I had a moment where I laughed and I just couldn't help it, and I'm like, what is my life right now?
Yeah, you said that.
But what I mean in that sense is that there's a lot of moments working on these productions and doing these things that I'm blessed to work with such amazing people and 100%. Creative people, and never to feel self-conscious. Like everyone's just, they're in. They're gonna. It's wild to me that there's so many people like Pam and Sean and that legitimately want to do this, and you don't even see their face. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing that I think I've ever, like, one of the coolest things I've ever witnessed, because it's pure, selfless. Like, I just want to do the thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm in the spotlight or like seen.
Yeah.
It's just them being kids, and they're like, let's do Star Wars. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. There was a picture you tagged us in. I can't remember whose picture it was. I think it might have been Jason as the bouncer. And me and Billy are in the background, but you wouldn't. You tagged us, and I'm like, where am I? Why did you tag us? But I remember being in that moment with Billy, and Billy's so great. We were still role playing in that moment too, which was really fun. And and we were like, you know, like, what's going on? Like, who's all these people here? Like, what is going? You know, and we were, you know, talking like we were Burgundy Squadron, and then we'd break and we'd laugh, and then we would just start talking about how Billy would just like, look at this guy, he's so awesome. We were talking about you, and he was like, well, yeah. I was like, yeah, you guys made this thing happen, you know, because I mean, not only did you bring us together for this, but even Billy more so, and I told them there too. I was like, you also created this group of misfits, right? Bringing these crazy kids together. So I was like very, very grateful to be involved with you guys there for these kind of moments, and that's like what I was expecting in it, and it even surpassed my expectations, which was awesome.
I'm really glad, honestly. Like I said, it's kind of wild how one, how everybody met each other,
Yeah.
and two, just the fact that like I don't know how any of this stuff is happening. We're just creating things, and no one's ever like weird about it, or they're like, hey, let's do the thing. Let's have fun and do something. So Cantina Crossover initially started off as just this like fever dream of mine that like I want to do the thing, and I want to bring a bunch of characters. I did not expect it to be such a community based event, and it's the coolest thing to see that everyone's just hanging out and having a good time
Yeah.
and making friends and doing, all that stuff. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, one of my other favorite moments, it brought me back to my cosplay convention days. We
Mm.
get there and like, oh, we got to start dressing up for the for the photo shoot, and everyone's putting on their gear, and like Jason has a box full of blasters and Trey has a box full of blasters, and I'm like, I knew I didn't need to bring one. I wasn't gonna take one on the plane for this one. I was like, someone has to have a blaster, and like putting on belts and vests
Yeah.
and greeblies, and I was like, this was really fun, doing that again with a bunch of people in the same fan base. That brought me back, and it was really fun to like hang out, because even Rich, who was there, he's like, oh, I brought props, and he's like putting all of his little props on the table. He's like, you grab whatever, and I did grab a few because I was like, oh, I could kit myself out a little bit more. But it was also inspiring seeing what people made. Even like Morgan had like those vials, and she was like, oh yeah, my character
Yeah.
is like a poison maker, and I was like, oh, that's really rad. And then even Aiden pulling out, like, he brought like his sabak dice and stuff, and we were using that, and his hyperspace props credits, so we could like bet with them, and I grabbed them for bribing Jason as the bouncer to get in, which he took a few pictures
Yeah.
of that. So like they were very useful and really cool ideas. So now I'm building like a bunch of little props for shoots and shots that I'll be doing.
That's super cool because I think you posted something not too long after that, and you were saying like something like it like kind of lit a spark again.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. Like the fact that just hanging out and doing a thing is helping other people like be inspired by each other and want to make something, as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, even to my detriment, because I was like, I haven't con crunched in a long time. I don't know if I told you this story yet, but I'm wearing just a con badge agreeably, and I think I posted it to the group. Oh, because you mentioned people are con crunching for the crossover. Like, you're like, this is wild, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm in for it. Yeah, I had this com badge greebly from Womp Rat that he sent me, and you inspired me because you were trying on a new vest or your under poncho, and you
Oh, yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
agreeably, and I said, oh, how do you keep it on? And you're like, oh, I bought these magnets. And I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of finally had seen it, what it looks like on the other side. You took a picture of it for me. So then I sanded
Yeah.
it. I bought magnets and I glued them in, and then I painted this con badge. But what was crazy was con crunch. My flight was at 11. I was still painting at 9 o'clock,
Oh my
and
God.
my flight was departing at 11. And I was like, well, I'll paint it for like 30 minutes. I'll put it in front of a fan, and then I'll pack my bag. And hopefully it'll be dry. So like literally the paint is drying while I'm packing my bag, and I was like not late, but more late than I've ever been on for a flight. And Sacramento, the airport's not too bad, but I only had 20 minutes before boarding. Like that's how close I cut it. And I was like, for all this for just a thing that I'm wearing on my vest that I didn't really need, but I wanted, like, I felt so compelled to do, and I was happy I did it because I feel like it
Yeah.
helped out the costume a bit. But yeah, it was one of those things that I told my old cosplay buddy. I was like, I haven't con crunched like this in a long time, because it's not the first time paint is drying on the way to an event. It's wild.
That's so funny.
I wanted to ask, was there anything that you felt could improve in future crossover events?
For future events, I think what we're gonna end up doing is next year, because I'm already getting people that want to do it. Like they want to book now.
I'm
They're
not
like
surprised.
they already want to do next year, and I'm like, guys, let me Give me a second.
You haven't
Like,
even edited all. Have you gone through everybody's photos?
Done. People were ready. Like, can I book for next year? I'm like, oh god. But I think essentially for next year, not too much improvement in the sense of like everybody does such a great job. I
Yeah.
can't even really like nitpick anybody.
No. I wasn't like maybe
Yeah.
something you might want to do differently that you did this year. Not specifically on anyone's.
Yeah.
As anyone
We'll
has a
probably
burden, but an improvement for what
yeah.
you could do.
We'll probably end up and we almost did it this year, but for like budgetary reasons and all that stuff, we may have a longer time slot for next year.
That would be cool.
You know, even if it's just like an extra hour,
Yeah.
because the shoot takes some time,
Mhm.
and then everybody's talking and doing their thing and stuff like that. So I don't know. We may go eat after. I mean, we always go eat after.
Yeah.
So that's what's fun too, is that after the event, it's not like written in stone, but if you guys ever attend the event, we go hang out at Scum and Villainy after. Basically just like nerd out, and everyone's
Yeah.
like jazzed. They see all these Star Wars denizens walking around.
Yeah, that was really fun too because we can cut loose,
Yeah.
we can hang out, get a couple drinks. I even shout out to Corellia Neshrao. I got the Denizens of the Rim visual dictionary, and I shared it on my Instagram. But yeah, me and Rich did yearbook signings, and I was gonna continue to do it for this year until the next one comes out of Star Wars fans that I meet. I'm going to Star Wars Celebration, so if you're there and you see me, I'll have you sign the book. And
Right.
it was kind of like commemorating 2025, and just like these were the people who were there for like the crossover and people who I've met for the year in Star Wars fandom, and yeah, you guys were all part of that. It was really cool.
You know what I just thought? Does anybody even know what the crossover is?
I thought about that early on in the conversation, but you were kind of explaining it, and so
Okay.
I think it. I mean, yeah. Go ahead and give the elevator pitch for the crossover.
Yeah, so I guess because like we're talking about it, I'm like, do they even know what we're talking about? Okay, so essentially, the Cantina Crossover is a photography event that I host. Now it's been 2 years in a row. We may do it next year, but it might be just yearly. And essentially, we create a immersive set where we have a cantina and aliens and droids walking around. This year we had an addition to a starship where we had a crew that was essentially part of that set, and original characters were able to attend in their costumes and interact with the characters and get really cool story-driven photos. So yeah, it's pretty much the pitch.
I'll like edit that and I'll cut it into the beginning. I'll say,
I just thought it'd be easier.
Yeah. So like, hey D, can you explain what the Cantina Crossover is? And then I'll just move it. I'll move it to that part before we start. No, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I am so hoping for an episode 3, and I'm so hoping that I can attend. I think after the event too, I was like, hey, make sure you sign me up for the next one because I don't want to miss out.
It is by far the most like energy draining event that I do, but it's like the most like fulfilling because it takes a lot to do, but like when it's done, like just seeing everyone like loving it and having fun and hanging out, it's definitely worth it. So like I said, it may just be every year, once a year, but episode 3 is coming.
Nice. The other thing I thought of too, you were saying about being draining, and it kept on like in the back of my mind. I kept on thinking about it. I was having such a great time, and I was buzzing for days after even too. I was like, oh man, it's and not like, oh man, it's over. It was like I'm still like going. Like I had that much fun, and I thought about when I had you and Kate about on for HalseyCon. How there was no...
Do we need a debrief?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying. I was like, I kind of need a debrief from the crossover.
What's the problem?
I was like, I need a debrief, and I kept on thinking about that, and I'm like, man. And I knew this was gonna happen. It was gonna keep going because you're gonna put out photos from it, right? Because I was like, dude, I had such a good time, and you're like, wait till the photos come out, and they're still coming. So I'm like, I get these like little dopamine spikes of seeing everybody in the pictures that you're editing, and just keep going back to that event. I think I was talking to Sean McNabob. I was like, D must have years worth of pictures that you could potentially use, and it was just like never end. And not saying you should, but there's a lot of photos, and it was, you know, in that amount of time, in 3 hours is a good chunk of time, and it sounds great to do 4 if possible. But yeah, I was like, I could have used a debrief of some kind.
I think that's such a crazy thing to even hear. So like, people had so much fun that they're like, I didn't want it to end. I mean, and that really doesn't have anything to do, I think, really with me. I think it has a lot to do with everybody. Like,
sure,
you guys are what make this work. Like, your characters, but just in general, not even just your characters, behind the scenes, when you guys are just hanging out, those relationships, I feel like that's what makes this work. Because even Andy, when he jumped on, and, you know, Andy's such a sweet guy, he essentially was like, you're kind of just creating like galactic summer camp, and you're having all these fun kids hang out, and people were hyped. And he said that during the first year, and at first I kind of like, I didn't get what he meant.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what do you mean? I was like, and then now I get it. I'm like, oh, that tracks. Like, we're all those kids, and we're looking forward to hanging out. And I feel like it's also very different than a convention.
Yes.
Because it's a small group.
Yes.
In retrospect. And we're all just hanging out and not even watching Star Wars or playing Star Wars.
Yeah. Even Billy, me and Billy, the whole time, like, as we were winding down, we're like, don't want this to end. Like, why do we have to leave? Let's stay longer. And it was so hard because it was like a no-brainer for me. Because I was like, you said, hey, I'm doing this event again, Crossover 2. And, you know, here's a price point. Here's what I'm planning to do. And I don't know if I asked you who was going or if you told me, but I was like, oh, like Dre's going to be there. Sean's going to be there. Billy's going to be there. And I'm like, oh, I got to go. Like, I got to. And I was so happy I did. I was even trying to like make it a surprise, like, oh, I'm here. But then you put out like who's on there, and Billy messaged because you're gonna be there. I go, yeah, I'm gonna be there. Oh, that was the other thing when you made a group chat for us, the attendees. I was like, oh, like Billy, Sean, Dre, they're not on there. So I was like a little sad, but I didn't realize that they were gonna be part of the cast, and I was. When I looked, I was like,
that's usually what I do. Yeah. I kind of like just to compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
I have the crew separate in like conversations because
that makes sense.
Of it's a surprise. It's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
I want it to be. And then we have the attendees.
Yeah.
Only maybe 1 or 2 of us have access to both, or like Andy or anybody that needs to tell them, like, you know, parking situations, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's funny when you get there and you're like, who actually showed up? Like, who's there? You may not even know, and you're hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, and it was so cool, man. I wanted to just circle back. I wanted to make sure that you know that you are actually a bigger part of this than you're giving yourself credit for, because without you putting it together and directing it, we wouldn't do this. So please give yourself credit. For me, to you, you are a big part of it.
I really appreciate it, and it, like I said, it means more than you think. And I'm the type where I'm just doing it for just for it. I'm doing it for the fun of it, and this is just kind of coming out of that, and it's cool. Like, it's super inspiring.
Yeah. And I'm so sad I can't be at Space Dive this year. Because I said wherever...
It's going to be a rough day for me.
Because I said wherever D goes, I'm going to try to be there. And that's one event that I'm not going to be able to do this year. So that's why I'm like... I've been telling people, I'm like, we just got to plan for 2026 Space Dive.
I think a lot of... Specifically the Squadron... I think a lot of Burgundy, they're planning for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason I was I mean, I'm making space dive work is, one, it seems like a dream of an event. They kind of just gave me everything that another place that I'm not shooting at anymore gave me, in the sense that, like, they're like, yeah, we would love to work with you. Like, we would love you to be here and shoot content here.
Yeah.
So, in limited power right now.
Oh no, I did say stop this, man. This is as much as I love your work, I'm like, someone has to stop this man. He's getting too powerful. No, but in all seriousness, you put a great event together. Did you have another thought about Space Dive?
Yeah, so if you guys are going to be at Space Dive,
yes,
I will be there. And I'm going to be there May 10th for one night. I'm booking holoscans. They're already starting to get booked, so by the time this pod comes out, it may be gone. But if you see me there, say hi. I'm going to be there as my Brittany Squadron OC, DISO. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I don't work for the venue at all, but they are very graciously allowing me to attend and create some content there.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I reposted that right away. And like I said, no brainer. Please sign up with this, man, if you want great photos. I don't think anyone will regret it. Dude, thank you so much for going through this debrief with me. This podcast is actually not going up. This is just me and you talking.
For you. Yeah. Just cry later.
Yeah. No, it's definitely going up, and I hope anyone who's watching enjoyed it. Please drop a comment.
So you guys can find me at Holoscan Database. I'm a cosplay photographer that focuses on story-driven photography based in the sci-fi universe. So mainly the Outer Rim, but I may get into other stuff later. So if you have really cool original characters, hit me up. We could do a shoot. So yeah.
Definitely do that. And you're in the right place. If you want to follow me, I'm at Raincore here on YouTube and Instagram. You can also follow me at Parade Rainer. All that info will be in the description below. But thank you.
Before we go, hold on.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do the cast.
I'm gonna rattle off the names. Hold on.
And I'll drop them in the description too if people are curious.
Do you want me to say them or no?
Yeah, no, go ahead, please. In case we missed anybody.
Okay.
I want to give everyone their credit.
I know, they did such a great job. So we're going to rattle off the names of the incredible individuals that were the volunteer crew for the Cantina Crossover Year 2. And this event really could not have happened and been as amazing as it was without them. So first off, we have Andy Meza. We have Darren Moser, which is Dr. Sci-Fi. We have DeAndre Essex, which is Dre in Motion. We have Echo, which is at Echo 7. We have Lindsay, which is at Fulcrum, the Fulcrum Ahsoka. We have Sean, which is Ik Nabob. Jason, which is at New Hope Workshop. We have Billy Maddox, which is at Maker Maddox. And we have Pam Riddle, which is Pam Riddle Work. We have Rami, which is from the Dad Batch podcast, which is Pabu Frick. And we have Tom Howard, which is the amazing lighting coordinator for us. And his handle is Tom Howard Film. And one of our really good friends is Victoria at Victoria EO. It's Victorian OELR, but you'll type it down at the bottom. Yeah. All these people were amazing. They helped make it happen. I just shot some photos. Everybody did more work than me.
Well, hey man, thank you again so much, dude. It was a lot of fun kind of getting your insight on the whole event, and I can't wait to hopefully be there for 3 or talk about 3 with you when it comes up. But
absolutely, yeah, hit me up. Year 3, episode 3 is probably gonna happen, and hope to see you there. Anybody else that wants to come along, hang out, it'll be fun.
It will be fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun listening to this podcast. Please go follow D on his Instagram. All that stuff again will be in the description. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for listening and tuning in. But with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your galactic evening. Punch and Chewy. Boom. Burgundy Squadron out.